Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults, by adults, and the views and opinions expressed here do not reflect upon the sponsors or FXBG Public Radio. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned. I might get a little lewd here, but in my experience, the uglier a girl is, the better she is at giving BJs. And I think it's because they're just happy they get any kind of use or satisfaction out of their face, because they know what they look like. They have mirrors. That's just like everybody else, you know. Has that been your experience? Or I mean, I have a very limited sample size of the female population when it comes to this. But the good news is, ladies, if you're lucky enough to land me or a guy like me, I'm not the kind of guy who enjoys getting those things. I understand why you wouldn't like to do it. But there's one thing I would recommend if you are like me out there, gentlemen, and you don't like receiving BJs. You should always tell the girl before one. Because it's always better to say, no, you don't have to do that, than it is to say, you didn't have to do that. Because of what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. Let you know. It's always better to let them know beforehand. It's just the kind of gentleman I am. Welcome to Shock Monkey Radio. I'm your host, the Madman. We got the audio fixed?
Oh, yeah.
Good. EK's always working hard at it, drinking his protein shakes and so forth. Losing weight, and I'm just getting fatter and fatter. Good for you, bud. Good for you. Yeah, I have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. I'd appreciate that very much. Or you can send me money through Cash App. Use the cash tag shockmonkeyradio, all one word. I'd appreciate that as well. You can follow me on social media over here at DNALETSAW, Denalitsaw, that's the word wasteland spelled backwards on the Twitters, and at SLRobbins13 on the Instagrams. I have anxiety. I was watching more body cam videos this morning. This lady's like, girl starts screaming, I have anxiety, but I have anxiety. And they're trying to arrest her because she wouldn't get out of her car or some nonsense. I have anxiety. You know, I've had enough of this, particularly the word anxiety. We're all anxious, all right? Everything with a nervous system has anxiety, all right? Little lizard walking around, crawling along, trying to like, boy, I hope I find a fly today that I can get something to eat, or I don't get snatched by a larger predator. That's the kind of anxiety they have, all right? And the kind of anxiety you have in comparison to a lizard is ridiculous, because you are not nearly in that much danger. You know why? Because humans are apex predators, all right? We're the baddest of the bad on Earth. It's not always certain with other animals, like, for example, like human versus giraffe. Human could eventually win, but giraffe could win. Even though we are the apex predator. But if you lose a fight to a giraffe and unless you're not allowed a weapon, you know, I can understand losing. But if you go up against a giraffe and don't know how to kill it with a knife, like a good solid, full tang knife, you kind of deserve to be killed by a giraffe. This is weird. How did I get down here? Well, let me look at my notes. I have anxiety. Yeah, even giraffes have anxiety. Giraffes, they fight each other. They'll wrap their heads and they bang their heads against each other. That's why they have the horns. They have real anxiety. When was the last time you got into a fight? A life or death fight over a mate or to protect your children? All right? Saying you have anxiety is ridiculous. When I got diagnosed with major depressive disorder, they gave me these pills and they're like, this is for, it should help alleviate your depression and your anxiety. And I was like, anxiety? Like, yeah, worry about stuff like that. It's like, everybody worries. It's like, I don't need that part of it. It's like, well, it's all built into the, and how exactly do these pills work? And they're like, they do.
You take them.
You take them with your mouth. Yeah. So, maybe I should change my diet. I wouldn't need them anymore, right, EK? Maybe I should listen to Lily and drink non-pasteurized milk. I don't even like regular milk. Safe milk. God's sakes. Everyone has anxiety. Relax. Oh, that's irony. Never mind. All right. This might be getting into a boring segment here.
Boring?
This might be boring. Because I'm going to be telling you how bored I was when I had to read so many stupid drama books in school. Now, if I throw out these titles of books, chances are you've read them if you went to public school in the United States. The Secret Garden. Did you read it?
Yes.
I read it. Red Pony? I read that one. How about Where the Red Fern Grows? Did you read that?
I do remember that one.
Yeah. These books, I read them. I had to read them, and I, tried. I mean, English was always my strongest subject, and so I'd come home with these report cards, and my dad's like, "Why are you getting a C in English all of a sudden?" It's like, because we're reading Secret Garden. It is annoyingly boring. It is so bad. Just doing it like guy pissed off at books, and is that what you typed into Google?
I just typed in books.
And so it's so strange to me that if you're going to make kids read books, at least make them good, and maybe when they start getting older, you start introducing them into like things like nonfiction. All right. For example, there were some books I was forced to read that I did enjoy. Of Mice and Men. Did you read that?
Yes.
I enjoyed that book. It was a look into a different time, the way that men lived, in a time that is in the past. And it's an interesting commentary on people with disabilities and so forth, and troublemakers in our society. I mean, I thought it was really, really good. To Kill a Mockingbird. Excellent book. Excellent book. Really enjoyed it. So but it irritates me is that nobody said, are we really going to make them read Secret Garden? Well, it won so many awards and this and that, and people, you mean women, said that it was a really good book. Yeah. It's like, so next thing you know, I mean, the way their literature is going these days, it's, The Secret Garden is actually a classic. And considering what is being published and being read by people these days. But there's other good books. Like, for example, I hate to bring this up because reading comic books was a big step into how I started reading a lot to begin with. And I think that comic books are really good to help people get immersed into a story, to help their imagination. And after a while of reading comic books, you don't need the pictures anymore. And you could just go to a book and fill it in your head. So I think comic books are really important. So recommended reading for people, instead of making me read Secret Garden, why couldn't you make me read Justice League Year One? I think that's a fantastic story. And it's PG-13 enough. It's not going to be controversial at all. And maybe I was really drunk when I read it the first time, and when Flash took off his mask. And he said, "My name is Barry Allen. I'm a criminal science detective for Central City Police." I think it's Central City.
Is it Star City?
No, it's Central City, I think. And so all these made-up cities in the DC world. There's a fly. Do you see the fly? It flew right in front of the camera. It's the Pence fly.
Huge.
Yeah, it was huge. So, I mean, there's other things. And even like high school, like the first time I read Batman the Dark Knight was in high school. And I said, this is better than anything I've ever read in high school that I was forced to read in school. It was way better than The Secret Garden. Anyway, why don't they let me pick the books that kids read? Genderqueer? No, this is nonsense. This is what it's like being gay. Not only does you shouldn't be talking to stuff like that with kids. First of all, it's like nobody wants to hear your narcissistic diatribe about why you think you're so special that you get to write a book about what it is that you like to do in the bedroom. You know what? That BJ segment, all right, that was just like once in a while thing. I'll talk about something lewd and lascivious. Because I had a dream about anyway. And it was like after I was like, no, I don't. You didn't have to do that. And she's like, you son of a bitch.
Why would you wait?
Why would you? Yeah, after. Yeah. Anyway. All right. moving right along. Is Call of Duty and games like that unethical? I don't know why I was thinking this. I was probably drunk and I just finished reading Justice League Year One again. And I was thinking, it's like, if you're like a poorer nation in this world and you have like this elite group of, I don't know, you're in Afghanistan or something like that, and you have this elite group of, it's like, they're the baddest of the bad of what we got. And so we want to like train them even more. So we hook them up to the PlayStation Network to give them headphones so they can communicate and force them. You got to maintain discipline. You got to maintain, and do unit tactics playing Call of Duty games. So in essence, it could be like team building combat training. Is that unethical? And if it is combat training, in my experience of playing games like Call of Duty and games like it, you also get these players that do crazy stuff that you can't ever do in real life. And you go and look for like 360 no scopes on the internet, people playing Call of Duty. That kind of stuff, trying to do that kind of stuff in real life, in real combat, will get you and your unit killed. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And then, you'll have these people, like, they'll just run past walls. Nobody's checking angles. You'll even have like a team of guys that are like covering each other, moving as a team and stuff like that. And some jackass comes running around the corner with, woo, I got a Kimbo 45. And you're like, we're almost there, dude. And you just had to make a big ruckus. Even on my YouTube channel, I have a video of me playing like Call of Duty as like a Captain America class, where I got this impervious ballistic shield and I'm just taking rounds like crazy. That stuff's ridiculous. You can't do that in real life. You can't beat 15 people to death like I did one match with your shield, Captain America. You can't really do it because there is no real super soldier serum. And you know what? You get a headshot in real life. That's it. 99% of the time. That's it for you. There's no like laying on your back. Oh, come revive me. Talking to your friends. Come revive me. No. And guess what? Energy drinks don't make you heal. Okay? It's ridiculous. And so I think it's kind of unethical because people will think that in a actual combat situation that you could behave that way and it'd be a good idea. No. If, for example, God forbid some sort of crazy civil war breaks out. God forbid. I'm not saying, or like some zombie apocalypse, something like that happens. And you go out there and you're fighting the zombies. And half the people you're fighting with learned how to fight by playing Call of Duty. All right? So they're doing crazy stuff. It's like, no, I don't want to use a rifle. I want to use akimbo pistols. You got to get close if you're going to be using that. And it's like, that's no problem. Dude. Even if you have a vest, because I'll have all that stuff in the game. You have vests and plates for your vests and stuff like that. Even if you have a vest and you have plates in it and you take a rifle round and, in these games, like, oh, I'll take 5 or 6 shots before I even feel nothing. It's like, no, you will get knocked down and you'll be like, ow. So people will be overconfident in those situations. So is it ethical? It's a fun-ass game, though. I've had a lot of fun playing that. Just like a lot of you have. Enjoyable game. But I'm wondering, if it comes to it, is it a good idea? Hauling ass today. I was watching a movie I'm going to talk about. And it gets a lot of ads. I get a lot of ads on YouTube when you watch YouTube for free. And I skip every single one I can, And I was thinking about like every single ad that I've skipped in my life. And I thought about the terabytes of data that must have been transferred towards my phone or toward my laptop, and I just skipped it. And where does that data go? It goes nowhere, right? Or is it just, I don't know. It probably goes nowhere. And a volatile memory, and the memory is eventually overwritten, probably. And so, then I started thinking about back in AOL, You had to pay like $10 a month for an hour of AOL time, and you're like pinching your minutes. Working offline. It's like I wrote up all my emails offline. I'm going to log on, spend 1 minute sending, and then come back off.
I never had that.
Yeah, you're too young to remember that.
No.
What?
My dad was always on the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah.
We always had a dedicated phone line for the internet. We didn't do AOL. We did another service.
Yeah, like CompuServe or something like that.
But we just didn't have to worry. We never had to worry about minutes when we got on.
Yeah. It wasn't long before AOL. I think it was like 97. Because AOL kind of dominated the market because they're sending out all this free disks for a while. And so people got AOL and they paid for the hour, the $10 for the hour. AOL made a bunch of money. And then all of a sudden the competition showed up and they're like offering, high-speed internet, full-time connection, no minutes, full-time connection. I already said that. Like $20 a month or something like that. Now it's even cheaper. Free enterprise, my friends. And I was thinking about like all that data that just goes nowhere. Even like in commercial television, it flies everywhere today. Even commercial television. Yeah. I think he got in when I going in and out to smoke. He was like, "Oh, I smell chicken." So, where was I? What was I saying? Damn fly.
The Wi-Fi?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
It's everywhere now.
Oh, yeah.
Free.
Yeah. And the data, the amount of data that just gets disregarded. You think about like somebody who does a commercial, how much time they take to shoot it, to cut it, and everything like that. It could be like a few day process for the cheapest and simplest commercial. But if you're doing like a complicated commercial, it catches people attention and it's a skippable ad, but you got to catch them in that first 5 seconds. And so, I mean, a lot of time and energy goes into making like those Geico ads or whatever you see going on. And it just like so many people disregard that stuff. When even on TV, when the commercials come on, people generally are just, they zone out. They talk to each other. It's like, I don't understand how advertising makes any money. I really don't. Because, I mean, it just seems like you're spending so much on something people really hate and don't care about. And then you think about the transfer of that data. The transfer of that data that we don't care about or uninterested in and skip half the time, more than half the time, hopefully. That's all got to be paid. That costs money to transfer data. How are you making money doing that anyway? This is a weird set of things I'm talking about today. All right, let's do a movie review, and we'll get in the news. My favorite movie of all time doesn't get high enough rating. You know why? Because I'm objective. I'm objective. And yes, my star ratings do reflect a little bit of my bias and how much I love a movie. And I remember was I texting you the other day, or we were on the game, and I was telling you, it's like, man, I'm drunk and I'm watching Big Trouble in Little China again. And I watched it again since then, by the way. I watched it twice this weekend. I love that movie so much. And so I was watching, and I love Jack Burton's character. I think I've mentioned this before, And if you don't know the premise of this movie, where have you been? What rock have you been hiding under where you do not know the movie Big Trouble in Little China? It is. I remember I was drunk and I was texting EK and I was like, this is probably the best movie ever made, man. This is probably the best movie ever made. And then like 2 minutes after I said that to him, I saw the monster come out with his little beady eyes and the little rubber toes on him. And I was like, oh, damn it. Oh, damn it. It's not the best movie ever made. It's the movie I love the most. And that's the difference. All right. It's 1986. It kind of looks its age when it comes to the props and the monsters and the effects and so forth. The guy who swells up, the beholder eyeball. It shows its age. But I love it nonetheless because it's an absurd romp adventure, if you ask me, with a nice sprinkling of comedy delivered to you by an American in this who's an outsider in this very strange mysticism world of ancient China. And that's what it is. And apparently this guy, Haipan, what's his name? Lopan. He's really into chicks with green eyes, and he finds two. He's going to try to marry them so he can become like immortal or whatever like that. And so Jack Burton and his friend, who I think they're probably in the Air Force together. That's what I'm guessing. They're in the Air Force together. And so enlisted men, obviously. And so they get caught up in this venture because they're good people and they're trying to help. You know, it's his friend's wife. He brought it, fiance. He brought it over from China, so he's going to help his friend. Plus, he owes him money. You know, they start out gambling. Jack Burton wins, and he does nothing or double, Jack. And Jack Burton wins because it's all in the reflexes. And so he says, "You owe me $2,296, I think it is." And so he's like, "You're coming with me until you pay me what you owe me, because I don't trust you. You're my friend, but I don't trust you that much." And then he gets in this wild like gang warfare in Little China, and it gets deeper and deeper and more crazy and absurd. And it's an incredibly fun ride. And if you don't love this movie, there's something deeply wrong with you. I don't know what it is. How do you not? I mean, Jack Burton himself is like the lines he says. For example, there's a scene where that thing comes out of the wall, and Egg Shen throws the thing and it goes, psh, he goes, "You will come out no more." And it cuts to Jack Burton and he goes, "What, huh?" And the Tech Nine shaking, "What'll come out no more?" And Egg just walks away and he's like, "Damn it." And the whole thing is that they did that in post. The effect of the monster was in post. And so they just said to Kurt Russell, whatever came out of there is the most creepy and terrifying thing you've ever seen again, ever in your life. And you'll never see it again. And you just want answers because that's the way Jack Burton is. Like, "Hey, I don't get it." And even Lopan says to him, "Shut up, Mr. Burton. You were not put upon this earth to get it. It's not your purpose." And Jack Burton is just that kind of guy. It's like I always tell my ex-wife, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes. So, yeah, it's a good movie. I love it to pieces. It's a short review. It's just me gushing over. It's my favorite movie ever. I watched it twice this weekend because I was drunk the first time and I was like, I didn't remember the second half, and so, which happens. Yeah, drink. And so I watched it again when I was in the morning, like the next day. I love this movie so much. Unfortunately, it shows its age. Some of the props, even back then, weren't so great. And but it is classic John Carpenter, and it's 12 of 13 stars. Yeah, the little rubber toes on the monster. I was looking at that like right after I sent that text to you. I was looking at that scene, and the little rubber toes, and I was like, I inadvertently lied to my friend. Anyway, I do like the new star thing. That's good. I like it. All right, let's get into the news worth knowing. What's important? What is important? How do you prioritize what's most important in the news? We had a vice presidential debate. We had, what else happened? We had University of New Mexico. Some funnier stories. What's most important? You know, how about the Americans who are getting flooded all to hell in the Southeast because of Hurricane Helene? How about that? Think maybe we could take some of the money that we're sending maybe to Ukraine, Israel. Oh, right. We're not sending any money to Israel. So maybe some of the money we're sending to Ukraine, maybe bail out, you know, Americans with American taxpayer dollars. It seems like the media and the government, every government agency, should be focused on what's going on with these storms, the damage from the storm. All right. Now, this is just one of many stories because there's a lot of flooding going on. There's a lot of people need help. So here's a headline: 11 Tennessee factory workers swept away in Helene floodwaters. Company responds to evacuation decision. Employees forced to work at a Tennessee plastics factory are recounting the day historic flooding took over the parking lot and caused the power to go out. Once the plant shut down and they were sent home, several of the workers did not make it. Floodwaters swept 11 people away, and only 5 were rescued. 2 of them are confirmed dead, and part of the death toll that affects across the affected states has passed 150 on Tuesday. This is from the AP. We are all talking to supervisors, telling everybody, look, we don't need to be here. Impact plastic employee Zina Adkins told WJAHL, our phone alerts are saying we need to flee the areas, and they never said anything about it, and supervisors didn't tell us that we could go. A statement from management from the company, founded in 1987, the factory located in Irwin, said to Fox News Digital, said Impact Plastics expressed sympathy for the missing or deceased employees and one contractor. Quote, at no time were employees told that they would be fired if they left the facility. Impact Plastics says that most employees left immediately following the dismissal. Some remained on or near the premises for unknown reasons. Jacob Ingram, a mold changer at the plastics factory, filmed himself and 4 others waiting for rescue as bobbing vehicles floated by. He later posted the videos on Facebook with the caption, just want to say I'm lucky to be alive. Videos of the helicopter rescue were posted on social media on Sunday. We should have evacuated when we got the flash flood warnings and when we saw the parking lot. Ingram told the Knoxville News Sentinel. We asked them if we could evacuate, and they told us not yet. It wasn't bad enough. The 2 confirmed dead at the Tennessee plastics factory are Mexican citizens. Lisa Sherman Nicholas, executive director of Tennessee Immigrant and Refugees Rights Coalition, told the AP. She said that many of the victims' families have started online fundraisers to cover funeral costs and other expenses. For employees who were non-English speaking, bilingual employees were among the group of managers who delivered the message. Impact Plastics in a statement read. The company is conducting an internal review of activities and timelines of September 27th to share the information once complete. It told Fox News Digital on Wednesday. Yeah, so obviously this has been going on for a couple of days, and so here at this point today, we have like stories like this coming out. But I mean, the way the media has been kind of like focusing on other stuff other than this, because it's showing how the federal government is not doing anything. They don't care. It's just like the train derailment, you know? They don't care about Americans. The Democrat administration doesn't care. They'd rather send money to Ukraine. They want to send our money to all their friends overseas. You know what I'm saying? Ukraine, the same corrupt country that Joe Biden, he told him, you're not getting any money until you fire the prosecutors investigating the company that my son works for. You know what I mean? They don't care about us. You need to tell them at the polls because Americans are dying. And the federal government has become a big, bloated monster. That's what I yell at the mirror every day. You big, bloated monster. Government. All right. Second most important story, I guess, is the debate, vice presidential debate. I didn't see it. I've seen clips, read news stories. But voter panel reacts to Vance clash with debate moderators and his mic cut off. You're fact-checking me. If you know, and I'll just read the story. A focus group of Republicans, Democrats, and independents reacted to former President Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, his microphone being cut off during CBS News vice presidential debates on Tuesday night. Independent and Republican voters disapproved of the interjection, but independent voters dipped significantly when Vance began explaining his stance. Vance's stance. Despite CBS announcing it would not allow live fact-checking during the debate, moderator Margaret Brennan interjected to correct Vance after he suggested that illegal immigrants are overwhelming public resources in Springfield, Ohio. Why would you fact check him on that? That's true. Whoa, what happened?
Clicker.
Yeah, it did. Anyway, this is what she said. Just to clarify to our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status. Brennan said. The rules, this is what Vance said. The rules said that you guys weren't going to fact check, he reminded them. And since you are fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. When Waltz tried interjecting, independent approval also decreased for a brief moment. While explaining the process of obtaining legal status and tying it to a Harris-backed immigration policy, the moderator spoke over Vance, thanking him for describing the legal process before they cut off his microphone, as Democratic Minnesota Governor Tim Walz attempted to argue with him. Microphones were cut off. When the microphones were cut off, the independent voter dial had been seen moving in an approval direction as Republican approval decreased slightly. So independents, I think the independents were like, okay, he made his point. There's nothing more that needs to be said. I think that, and like Republicans who are like on J.D. Vance's side are like, yeah, that's messed up. And it's like, you should have let him talk. I didn't even like how he handled that. I've seen the clip. I don't even like how he handled that. I mean, Vance and Trump have been like real kind of milquetoast lately. And Vance is actually like the sharper of the two, if you ask me. J.D. Vance, I mean, he seems like a sharper, more intelligent guy than Trump. I kind of like him better than Trump as a politician. Trump is more of an entertainer. And they knew, like everyone knew, that the last debate, them fact-checking Trump and never Kamala Harris, everyone was talking about how they screwed up and the debate moderators are too much a part of the discussion. And then, what is this, CBS News? Yeah. CBS News? They do the same thing. And a lot of you people who read the news, you need to understand, like, I understand if you like your trusted source, like Fox News, okay? I understand you like your trusted source. I like Fox News because it's just skewed right enough for me. It's still liberal. In many ways, Fox News is still a liberal organization, still a liberal news place. It's the least liberal. All right? But when your moderators, who are like anchors, when they do moderators, they're like journalist anchors. When those journalists start showing a clear bias on their network, you have to assume that the network has that bias as well. And so what you need to do as a viewer of that news source is like, I'm not going to view this anymore. I'm going to go to a different news source. Because that's unethical. No matter which side of that you're on, that's unethical. If that was happening to Walz, you Democrats would have every right to be pissed off about that. But as it was this time, as it is so many times, the bias is against the conservatives. Because they're threatening your socialist. Whoa. Tripping out, man. What's going on?
What is happening?
Yeah. What's going on there?
I don't know what's happening.
Should I check the...
It's the camera.
I'm flipping out, man.
The audio is fine.
Oh, is it? Oh, right now I look like an idiot. I sound like an idiot. I look like an idiot and I sound like an idiot at the same time.
Let me disconnect the camera and reconnect it.
Try to do... Yeah. I'm twitching out. Let me see if I hear audio. Am I still talking?
Audio.
I'm flipping out, man. Yeah, the audio's still going. All right. That's the first time this camera screwed up on us.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Did you unplug it?
Yeah. Plug it back in.
Oh, no. Might have to call it early?
I don't know. Wait a second. We still got audio.
I don't want to continue if this video is going to be like this.
Wow. herself.
Yeah. All right, this has been Shock Monkey Radio.